is called, find it, Landscape with Aunt Virginia after she smacked the shit out of a old dude for macking at women at a funeral. And it's after Antigone's first monologue in the play. Here brings the comforter, who smacks his lips at the grieving girl, obvious from 4 or 50 pews away. If this is what the nigga's thinking, then we shouldn't have placed his ass here. Not even ask the nigga to come. He made his choice to wear them plaid pants, wash his ass, and slumber on that young girl. He can be what the fuck he wants to be with my babies, but we gotta bury this boy. And if he comes here looking like his Zulu name is killing with a fake gold chain neck, then I will say this ass whipping is holy. I shall lie down with the nigga in death and make him as dear to me as the porn and MMA bill he puts in his baby's name. It is the living, not the dead niggas that make the longest demands, Bobby. Niggas die forever, but Negroes do as they like, as the laws of God or love mean nothing to them in the scope of them getting some shit. Thank you. Whoa. All right, we'll do a few more poems. This poem is, I messed with Ezekiel a little bit in this. It's called Homie Didn't See the Wheel. The Brat Packer's baggie is an invisible eclipse. A blind god of wilderness always 2 feet away, but yet perilously close. Through its white shadow, the bus top pole on Earth, from the gravel to the sky. Distances from the corner to home become unmeasurable. The slick polo sophomore is a cruel hipster Solomon, and there is no one to plead on the gravel. Not mine, that one, spread 'em, ground, now. Head to your shoulder bone, in the gravel, then your shoulder to your knee bone, brought down, then your knee to your thigh bone, broke together, then your knee to your thigh bone, brought down, round up, locked down, stay time. This letter sets forth the full and complete plea offer to your client, your hereafter referred to as your client or defendant, boy. From the special counsel's office, hereafter also refers to as the government or this office, is hereafter also refers to as the government or this office. This plea offer expires. Sons of God, will dead bones live? Rattles above the valley lead to overflows. Breath, prophesied by winds of idols, feel elusive by your battle axes. Commands turns to rattlings, turns to graves yet unopened in the land of cracked spirits and skies. Bones will inter. Will dead words rise? Sons of God, will dead bones live? Thank you. Okay, 2 more poems. Is that cool?
Totally cool.
All right. We're going to do 2 more poems. When I was in the 3rd grade, I was asked what I wanted to be when I grew up. And my answer was Whitney Houston's husband. This poem is in her memory. This poem, after Audens in the memory of W.B. Yeats, is called Funeral Blues for Whitney. On the day you found what we were missing, a skinny, hungry, thugged-out young boy stopped dead in front of a boombox. Ones were froze. Crap games almost deserted. Hood niggas disfigured by public statues were transformed by the sound waves of you back in the day. On you and your instrument, we young thugs agreed you were wonderful back in the day. And far from our projects, little homies dreamed you in evergreen forests. Yet our nerds were transfixed by radio plays scattered over 1,000 stations. Scattered, squared, to 1,000 more affections immediately and all at once. Immediately, every time we heard you and called ourselves to be better than we were. Immediately, as we dreamed to be something grand, if not grandiose, if only to win your heart. If only then we would scheme up some shit to unearth the sword from our gravel stones and win you, and live happily in your kingdom, but the magic dust ate you alive. 2. Earth, deceive a troubled guest. Whitney Houston is laid to rest. Let this Newark vessel lie emptied of our dreams. For in the nightmare of the dark, all the mask of Her Majesty ate our face. All our refusals to look into her blackness have blinded and scarred our eyes, have turned to brown ash all our crystal-strewn pedestals in a parable of genius and dust. And now you hang in memory over us, Our Lady of chemical and too human sorrows, trapped eternally in a crystal cage, only free in the shadow of Sirius, only free in fleeting notes and electrons of youth, love, and limitless potential before yours turns slow to a curse. Thank you. One more poem. Thank you very much for your hospitality. This poem, after Wallace Stevens' 13 different ways of looking at a blackbird, is called 13 different ways of looking at a motherfucker in the club. 1. Among 20 bros at the club, the only thing moving toward my cousin was the eye of the motherfucker. 2. I was of 3 minds, like the IQ of the motherfucker in the club. 3. The motherfucker in the club whirled in the autumn wind. It was a small part of some corny bro dance. 4. A Maxim magazine and Axe body spray, a 1. A Maxim magazine, Axe body spray, and a motherfucker in the club, a 1. 5. I do not know which to prefer. The time when the motherfucker in the club says to my cousin, "Girl, I want to soak you up like a biscuit," or, "Girl, you look good enough to season greens with," or, "Girl, if your left leg is Christmas and your right leg is New Year's, can I visit you in between the holidays?" 6. Bros fill the window with barbaric glasses of liquor a rapper drank on BET. The motherfucker in the club drank them to and fro. An indecipherable case. 7. Oh, thin bros of Seattle. Why do you imagine that you could put Rufalin in my cousin's drink? Do you not know my juvenile assault record when you walk the feet of the young lady around me? 8. I know noble accents and lucid, inescapable rhythms. But I know, too, that if the motherfucker in the club gives her that drink, I'm gonna catch a case. 9. When the motherfucker in the club flew out the window. 10. At the sight of the motherfucker in the club flying outside the window, a bowl of euphony cried out, "What did I tell you? What the fuck did I tell you? You put your hand in my car like gallons in the brain on your back in front of your goddamn daddy! I said, "No, God, if I'm no niggas, I'll bust your head in the white meat into your ass. I'm gonna take a block to you, ass and turn out the fame. What the rest of you pros looking at? Which one of you wanna ask the dentist to get their teeth fixed? Don't let this move play fool you!" 11. The motherfucker in the club ran past downtown with a busted hand. Once, a fear pierced him in that he mistook someone else for a person that was driven away. 12. The wind is howling. The motherfucker in the club is somewhere in the corner. 13. You've been wonderful, thank you.